my brother got me fired from my own company I built, so I legally evicted them and took everything.
I built Grayfield Mechanical from a rented bay in my father-in-law's parking lot. That was 11 years ago. By the time Marcus decided I was holding the company back, we had 23 employees, 2 locations, and a contract with a regional hospital system worth more than everything our parents ever owned combined. Marcus is 4 years younger than me. He came on as operations manager 6 years in, mostly because my wife Denise thought keeping family close was good for the soul. He was charming in meetings. He remembered birthdays. He wore shirts that cost more than our first company truck. What he did not do was understand the business. He did not understand that the hospital contract had a penalty clause for delayed service calls. He did not understand that our lead technician, a man named Roderick who had been with me since year 2, was the reason we passed every inspection without a single flag. He did not understand that the way I ran things looked loose from the outside because I had spent a decade making it look easy. What Marcus did understand was leverage. He had spent 8 months quietly having lunches with 2 of our 3 silent investors, with the regional hospital's facilities manager, a man named Clint who had a weakness for flattery and premium bourbon, with 3 of my senior staff, all of whom Marcus had been overpromising raises to, in writing, on company letterhead I did not know he had access to. The meeting happened on a Tuesday. They framed it as a performance review. Marcus sat at the head of the table in a chair I had bought. He used words like vision alignment and executive restructuring. One of the investors, a man named Prentice who had never once visited either location, nodded along like he understood. They voted to remove me as CEO and transition me to a consulting role, which meant I would be paid a flat monthly fee to answer questions from the man who just took my chair. I did not yell. I did not slam anything. I asked for the motion in writing, confirmed the date, and left. Here is what Marcus did not know, because he had never asked and I had never volunteered it. Grayfield Mechanical was the parent company. Marcus and the investors owned shares in it. What they did not own was Grayfield Properties LLC, which I had formed 7 years earlier when I purchased the building our main location operated out of, and Grayfield Logistics, which held the service vehicle fleet. Both were sole proprietorships in my name. I had structured it that way on the advice of an attorney after a contract dispute in year 3 taught me to keep things compartmentalized. I called Roderick that evening. He quit the next morning. I sent a lease termination notice to Grayfield Mechanical 30 days out, consistent with the month-to-month terms Marcus had never read. I began the process of transferring the fleet back under my direct management, and I had a conversation with Clint from the hospital, not to poison anything, just to let him know I was starting a new operation and would love to keep the relationship going if there was flexibility on their end. Clint said he would see what he could do. There was flexibility. Marcus called me 5 weeks later. The main location had no building. The trucks were gone. Roderick was gone. 3 of the other staff had followed. The hospital contract was in review pending vendor stability assessment, which was the kind of language that meant they were already writing the exit paperwork. He asked me what I wanted. I told him I did not want anything. I told him the lease was terminated per the terms he had agreed to when the company was restructured, and that the vehicles were assets of a separate LLC he had never had any claim to, and that I genuinely hoped things worked out for him. He said I had planned this. I told him I had built contingencies, which was something I had been doing since before he knew what the company's gross margin was. He told me I was being vindictive. I told him I was being thorough. I have a new operation now. 12 employees so far, including Roderick. The hospital contract finalized last month. We are operating out of a different building that I also own. Marcus's group is still technically incorporated. I checked last week. They have 1 location, no fleet of their own, and a facilities manager who posts a lot about leadership on LinkedIn and has not returned any of my old investors' calls. So tell me, is it really revenge if you just stopped propping someone up and let them find out what they were actually worth on their own?